Vintage hotel photos. The InterContinental Hotel brand was established 75 years ago by Juan Trippe, founder of Pan American Airways. Here's a photo of the InterContinental Medellin Hotel in Medellin, Colombia, which opened in 1970. Varied interiors. There was no universal blueprint for InterContinental Hotel interiors. Instead, hotel rooms and bars varied depending on the city and country. Interior designer Neal Prince sought inspiration from local art and culture. Pictured here, interior of the InterContinental Medellin. Spirit of travel. When you woke up from a jet lag, you felt you were in Paris, or Geneva, or Brazil, or Colombia, a representative of the Neal Prince Trust, which has kept the designer's work alive since his death in 2017, tells CNN Travel. That was his trademark. Here's the lobby of the Frankfurt InterContinental Hotel, which opened in 1963. Frankfurt rooftop views. C. Huhne, author of Pan Am, History, Design and Identity, calls InterContinental the first international hotel chain. While InterContinental was looking global, its equivalent hotel chains were mostly focused on domestic markets. Lounging in Ecuador. Here's the lounge at InterContinental Quito, in Ecuador, which opened in 1967. Prince worked closely with photographer Arie de Zanger, who took photos of many of his interiors for InterContinental, including this one. Sense of color. New York-based Arie de Zanger was a fashion photographer who worked closely with his wife, Wilma, who'd studied fashion design. Wilma tells CNN Travel she always loved Prince's hotel interiors, his sense of color, his sense of the materials that were used. The choices were just amazing. Here's the restaurant at InterContinental Quito. Teamwork. Wilma tells CNN Travel she'd travel with her husband on his InterContinental assignments, coordinating productions, dressing sets, assisting with wardrobe, sourcing models, and occasionally standing in as a model herself. Here's Arie de Zanger's photo of the Oberoi InterContinental Hotel in New Delhi, India, which opened in 1965. Setting the scene, the de Zangers would make a list of every scene they wanted to capture at each hotel, and then Wilma would source models. Often Pan Am flight attendants and pilots would step in, she says, as well as hotel employees. Here's the restaurant at the InterContinental Wien Hotel in Vienna, Austria, which opened in 1964 and is still operating today. Aerial photography. Sometimes photographing the exterior of the hotels was a challenge, as when de Zanger captured this shot of the Tahara InterContinental in Papeete, Tahiti, in French Polynesia, from a small airplane with the door removed and no seatbelt. American fantasy. While Prince's designs incorporated local artistry and culture, Prince's designs for the Tahara also catered to an American fantasy of the South Pacific, formed by movies like Blue Hawaii and the Tiki Bars of the 1960s, as the New York School of Design puts it. Indoor and outdoor. Wilma calls photographer Arie de Zanger an expert with lighting, describing how he'd capture indoor and outdoor scenery in one shot, such as in this photograph of a bedroom in the Tahara InterContinental. Inside the Tahara InterContinental is now an abandoned building. Swimming scene. Photographing the hotel pool was always a priority for the de Zangers. Here's the Tahara InterContinental pool, with its incredible views. When needed, Wilma would step in as a model, and she did so here. She's one of the people around the pool in this shot. Stepping into the shot, Wilma de Zanger was also in this image of the Hotel Indonesia in Jakarta, Indonesia, which opened in 1962. She sat alone, on the right, in the far back. Lobby views. Here's a glimpse inside the lobby of the Ducor InterContinental Hotel in Monrovia, Liberia, which opened in 1960 but was taken over by InterContinental in 1962. It's now abandoned. The Ducor InterContinental was the brand's first hotel on the African continent. Bali Beach. Here's the lounge bar of the Bali Beach InterContinental Hotel in Sanur, Bali, Indonesia, opened in 1966. Parisian Ballroom. This is the Grand Ballroom of the InterContinental Paris Hotel, photographed in 1969. This historic building was reopened by InterContinental following a renovation. Nightlife in Mexico City. The bar of the Reform InterContinental Hotel, Mexico City, Mexico. Wilma de Zanger says when she was tracking down models, she'd always ask them to bring a variety of outfit options. Meeting place. Here's one of the meeting rooms in the Reform InterContinental Hotel, Mexico City. Poolside view. InterContinental Manila Hotel opened in Makati in the Philippines in 1969. Here's a view of the pool taken by Erita Zanger. InterContinental Jerusalem. Wilma de Zanger is also in this shot of the Seven Arches restaurant in the InterContinental Jerusalem Hotel. She's the woman in blue in the back. Café Le Voltaire. There were several bars and restaurants in the InterContinental Geneva Hotel, opened in 1964, including Café Le Voltaire, pictured. The hotel is still open and operates as InterContinental today. 1980s influence. One of Neal Prince's later jobs was the Mayfair InterContinental Hotel in London, which opened in 1982 and marked a move away from mid-century modern to a more 80s look. Final project. Neal Prince's last project for InterContinental was its Washington, D.C. outpost. InterContinental had originally focused on opening hotels outside of the U.S., but renovated this old building in D.C. into a luxury hotel opening in 1986.